Ladies and gentlemen, bungled. Hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great day. Today, we are going over Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play first-person shooter, and we're kind of going over why you shouldn't be that excited for the next big update and kind of the future that Enlisted is going, the direction it is going based on conversations that are posted by KeoFox, an Enlisted employee on the Enlisted forum. Now, pretty much starting off right away is that for those that love the Making Enlisted a Better Place post, they're not going to make any more of them until after the big update, since basically all hands are on deck for making the update. Another thing that's was posted and revealed too is that upcoming news posts will be announcing new maps for all campaigns. And there's a hint that, of course, that there is a new campaign. We can see this based on the conversation talking about the medic class in Enlisted, as well as a German soldier that is in the prone position. And it looks like it is a city map with a lot of users speculating that it is Stalingrad. Now, my personal opinion on it being Stalingrad, it's pretty much going to be Moscow era weapons, tanks, and everything with a gameplay setting like Berlin. Personally, I don't think this is a good decision. This is just going to be another copy and paste. I thought we would be moving more towards a kind of unique area like the Pacific campaign. I can see the argument for Stalingrad since it was a very noticeable campaign, but at the same time, I'm for the argument of not doing exactly everything that you've done before. Hopefully in the future they can consolidate Stalingrad and Moscow into kind of just an Eastern Front campaign. Now, moving on. So one of the things that KeoFox was talking about was that bolt action rifles will be receiving some kind of specifically an update in the near future. There's no hints on what it is, but it's good news for players that like to use bolt action rifles. Generally, bolt action rifles like the Kar 98, etc. They do have the potential to one hit and everything like that, but I guess they're going to go and focus more on buffing these weapons, since, to be honest, it seems the majority of the player base is using automatic weapons or maybe even semi-autos after the nerf that they got. One of the new features about the new meta class that is going to be exclusive to the new campaign at launch, which, like I said, a lot of people are hinting towards Stalingrad. No, this is going to come to other campaigns later, and, keep in mind that we as a player base are still waiting for the engineer shovels that they talked about earlier and movable AT guns. If you notice way back, and I think they made a post about making Enlisted a better place a couple months ago, that was something that they went and talked about. So regarding the medic class is basically going to have its own dedicated squad that is going to go and exist with the new campaign. But the details of adding medics to already existing squads and campaigns have not been decided yet. So we have to go and watch how that goes in the future. They are considering adding a medic to every squad, but there's an issue that for players that have spent points in building their squads and everything like that, when you have a squad in Enlisted, you have the XP that you gain from playing it, and you have the tree where you unlock more squad members, what squad members you want to add to your squad. They might have to reset all that, so that kind of raises the question with that. Now, the new campaign, of course, is definitely coming. They've already hinted at that. I kind of feel like now that players don't really like the automatic weapon spam, so the new campaign is going to have less assaulter squads. So we've noticed, let's say, in the Battle of Berlin, that you can basically take out 3 assaulter squads. You have level 1, level 2, level 3. Well, it looks like they're going to go and try to reduce that as much as possible in this new campaign. They also brought up a kind of interesting point about making weapons have a niche, and this is kind of going into a kind of a cryptic area, but in the new campaign they're planning to test completely different weapon characteristics. And this is kind of similar about what I said earlier about having a niche with these weapons. And this includes shooting a weapon in one campaign compared to another will produce a completely different result and different behavior. And this is going to be covered in detail in a future post. And they're going to be seeking feedback about this, whether or not to implement them across all campaigns. This is kind of what I have covered earlier on my channel, where Enlisted seems to have this war on automatic and semi-automatic weapons. We can see this with the Nerfs of the light machine guns they did, I think, way back in the summer of 2021. I think we saw this with a semi-auto Nerf that they did in the fall of 2021. I think personally that the weapon balance is fine. I understand buffing bolt action rifles to make them a little more competitive. I understand that, but you can't even aim down the sights when you build a MG42 nest or use a MG42 turret and things with the recoil and everything being uncontrollable if you're trying to fire a light machine gun from standing up and everything like that. I really don't think they need to keep hammering it down. Even semi-autos got nerfed to the point where some of them are just not useful anymore. So pretty much what I expect is the pre-orders for the new campaign are probably going to include the medics. The medics, from what I gathered or what I saw, are pretty much going to be playing like assaulters, and that this new campaign that's going to be coming out is that you're probably going to have to unlock the MP40 for the 5th time and the PPSH for the 3rd, and it's going to be playing with Moscow era weapons in a Battle of Berlin like setting. So not really that excited in my opinion. I personally, it's kind of getting old grinding the same stuff over and over and over again. This is probably something I'm just going to put on the shelf and not really grind and work towards, because to be honest with you, I can wait in the future for them to add a bunch of premium squads and you can just use that to expedite your grind through that campaign level. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. I think Stalingrad, while it's appreciated to being added, it should have been included with an Eastern Front campaign and just combine Moscow with it. So that way it's just not a copy and paste, in my opinion. I think the Pacific campaign would actually have been much welcomed.